Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm going to try to read from something called the Advaita Prakasha. And it is by a devotee called, his name's Ishana Nagara. And this is in relationship to Shri Advaita Prabhu. And I believe Ishana was a servant of Lord Advaita, who is a manifestation of Krishna appearing in Chaitanya Lila, one of the 5 features of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya appeared in 5 features. The Godhead appeared in 5 personalities. And Lord Advaita was one of those personalities in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago. So there's not going to be a whole lot of philosophy or explaining the difference between spirit and matter in this. Because those things are all, it is assumed that the reader is on the level of spirit already, and is already able to discern what is spirit and what is matter, and is not identifying with their own mind or body. And so by hearing these pastimes, very relishable, it's information about the loving exchanges that go on in the spiritual atmosphere. So I haven't read this. I've read little portions of it in the association of some devotees, but I haven't read the whole work. So we're going to try to approach this and pray at the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, that we hear this nicely and that it is to enrich our devotional service on our path back home, back to Godhead. So here we go. This is the Advaita Prakasha, Chapter 1, by Ishana Nagara. And he offers some prayers here. I offer my respectful obeisances to my spiritual master, Shri Advaita Prabhu, who's non-different from Lord Harih. He induced the Supreme Lord Harih to manifest in this world. I worship Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a fair complexion, but inwardly Krishna himself. He is an ocean of love, eternally full of knowledge and bliss, and the origin of all energies. I offer my obeisances unto Sri Nityananda, who is most merciful and who illuminates love of God. I offer my obeisances to Gadadhar and Srivas, who are engaged in the service of the Lord of Radharani. All glories to Sri Chaitanya. All glories to Sitanath. All glories to Nityananda, along with all the devotees. When the 5-headed Lord Shiva saw Kali Yuga was filled with terrible sins, he thought, how can I deliver the living entities? After a long discussion with Yogamaya, he concluded, no one other than Lord Harih could deliver the fallen souls. Sadashiva, who was always joyful at heart, then went to the shore of the causal ocean. That great yogi then sat in yogic meditation for 700 years, until Mahavishnu, the Lord of the universe, was pleased by his severe austerities and appeared before him. When the five-headed Shiva saw Lord Narayan there, he offered many indescribable prayers. Mahavishnu then said, "You and I are non-different, except for our separate bodies." Saying this, he embraced Lord Shiva, and the two bodies became one. Who could understand his mind? It was most wonderful how they become one form, with pure golden effulgent limbs, chanting, "Krishna, Krishna." Suddenly there was a miraculous voice from the sky saying, "Listen, Mahavishnu, you first descended in this form in the womb of Labha. Later," try that again. The voice from the sky saying, "Listen, Mahavishnu, you first descend in this form in the womb of Labha. Later I will descend in the district of Nadia in the house of Shachi and Jagannath. Balaram and other devotees will also take birth in order to deliver the living entities." And hearing this, Mahavishnu, who is non-different from Lord Shiva, entered the womb of Labha in Shantipur. Labha was the austere, chaste, religious-minded wife of Kuvera Pandit. Previously, the well-to-do Kuvera Pandit had devotedly performed austerities and chanted mantras to get Lord Shiva as her son. Lord Shiva was pleased by his austerities and agreed by saying, "So be it, your desire will be fulfilled." This is why Kuvera took birth in this world. He was given the name Shriman Kuvera Acharya, and by dint of his knowledge and religiousness, he was worshipful by all. I am unable to describe all these good qualities. People glorify him as the son of Nishinga. Nishinga was a descendant of Aruoja and was also known as Nadiyala. He could remember anything he heard and was famous throughout the three worlds for being well-versed in the scriptures and expert in their explanations. By the strength of Nishinga's counsel, Sri Ganesh captured the throne of Gaudadesh by killing the Badasaha. The class of Kappa Brahmins who resided in Labha were formed by his daughter's marriage. Kuvera Acharya was an inspiration to his family line by his role as the king's pandit. After marriage, he gradually had many sons, but when they all died, he had some realization. He went to the beautiful Shantipur on the bank of the Ganges and stayed there with Labha for some days. One day he noted symptoms of pregnancy in Labha's form. He therefore worshipped Lord Narayan with various articles and satisfied the Brahmins, the poor, and the blind by feeding them. At that time Kuvera got a letter from the king, so he returned home with his wife. His residence was in Navagram in the district of Lauda, where Divyasingha was reigning. When he returned to Navagram, the residents offered him a warm reception. Delighted on seeing the Acharya after many days, the king greeted him and inquired about his well-being. The king said, "Tell me some good news. Why have you been delayed? Your good association is a source of joy for me. I consider my kingdom void without you." The Acharya replied, "You are an ocean of mercy. You are always kind to the poor Brahmins. The bank of the Ganges is an enchanting holy place. Living there is equal to living in Swarga. I returned because of your order, otherwise I had no desire to leave that place. By the will of the Lord, my wife has again become pregnant, for whatever is destined becomes manifest." The king said, "As she became pregnant in a holy place, I'm sure the result will be auspicious. Forget your past lamentation. Pray to the Lord. He will bless you with a wonderful son." In this way they had many discussions. At that time, a Brahmin astrologer came there. The astrologer said, "Listen, Pandit Mahashaya, there's no doubt you will get a divine son. He will live a long life and be fully conversant with the religious codes of the scriptures. I can see that he will widely preach devotional service." Saying this, the astrologer disappeared. Later, the king searched for him, but could not be found. Considering this very astonishing, people considered that the astrologer must have been some demigod. The Acharya was pleased by the astrologer's prediction. He returned home and explained everything to Labha, who replied, "The Lord's glories are unlimited. By his grace our miseries may disappear. Saintly persons say that whoever worships Lord Vishnu with devotion will meet good fortune everywhere." On hearing this, Acharya, who is situated in pure knowledge, said, Yes, dear, this is the Vedic conclusion. By worshipping Vishnu, all demigods are worshipped, all perfection is attained, and one is freed from all illusion. Kuvera then devotedly worshipped Lord Narayan in great opulence with many articles. He offered Vishnu prasad to the Brahmins and gave clothes to the poor, the blind, and the distressed. Now, listen. To a wonderful story. Once, at the end of night, Labha Thakurani had a dream in which she saw Lord Harih appear in her lotus heart. The beauty of the Lord's limbs illumined all directions. He sweetly chanted the holy names of Harih and danced with raised arms. Tears of love flowing from his eyes, and he lost all external consciousness. He chanted Hare Krishna and roared loudly. Hearing his chanting, Yamaraj, the son of Surya, came there. Yamaraj saw that the sweetness of Harihar's combined form resembled that of Haragori. The enchanting effulgence of his body defeated the shining of millions of suns. Who has the capacity to describe that beauty? As he chanted Hare Krishna, his hair stood on end, and tears incessantly flowed from his eyes like the Ganges. His body was inundated with ecstatic love, and the waves of that love expanded as he danced. Seeing his transcendental mood, the beloved son of Surya offered full obeisances and various prayers. With folded hands, Yamaraj sweetly said, "O Lord, please listen. This Kali Yuga is covered with the darkness of ignorance. It is certainly wonderful that you incarnate in such an age. By seeing you, the sinful will be delivered, and my authority will be finished. Therefore, dear Lord, kindly remain unmanifest and deliver this servant of yours from danger." Hearing Yamaraj's appeal, the Lord slightly smiled and said, "Oh, Dharmaraj, you are an illusion. Be peaceful. Don't you realize how much the sinful living entities are suffering? Learned persons and saints feel sorry for the sufferings of others. If someone is suffering the reactions of his karma, then who has the power to free him? Being covered by illusion, the living entity does not know his own self-interest. He foolishly considers insignificant sense enjoyment as his self-interest. One who is attached to material life is bound by his fruit of work, just as a diseased person suffers when he takes the wrong food. Particularly in Kali Yuga, the living entity becomes whimsical and suffers in the blazing fire of material life. Seeing their unbearable distress, my mind became impatient and I made a vow. The Maha Mantra counteracts the bondage of karma and enables one to attain pure Krishna prema. By teaching sinful persons the transcendental holy name, I will empower and deliver them. That is why I will take birth now. Later, saints will sing the glories of the Kali Yuga. I have one more staunch vow. I will, without doubt, make the Lord himself descend. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will descend along with his followers, and the whole country will be overflooded with pure Krishna prema. Your authority will not be lost by this, however, for blasphemers and atheists will never be delivered. On hearing this, Yamaraj returned to his abode. Labhadevi then woke from her dream and described the wonderful vision to her husband, Kuvera Pandit, who was amazed to hear the story. The chaste Labhadevi passed 10 months in pregnancy, and then Advaita Prabhu took birth on the auspicious 7th day of the waxing moon in the month of Magha, January-February. On that auspicious day, all the ladies took bath, gave charity, chanted the holy names, made auspicious sounds of hulu. Although the devotees did not understand the cause of their happiness, their bliss knew no bounds. In due course of time, Kuvera called an astrologer, who, after calculation, named the child Kamalaksha. At the age of 5, the child looked strikingly wonderful. He didn't eat anything other than Krishna Prasad. Thereafter, on an auspicious day, Kuvera gave his son his first lesson. Within a month, Advaita Prabhu mastered the entire alphabet. Praying at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Shri Advaita, always desiring their mercy, I, Ishana Nagara, narrate Shri Advaita Prakasha. So that's the first chapter. Jai.